Hi, everybody. Welcome to Discover College Flag. Today, I'm lucky enough to be joined by Coach Angela from Charleston Southern. Welcome, Coach.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Excited to talk to you. The Charleston Southern announced, I guess, was it January, that they were going to be
Mhm.
starting a program, and since then, the Big South has said, "Hey, we're going all in."
Mhm.
And you guys officially, your first season will be the 27-28 school year. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. So we've got some time right now to build, really. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I mean that's fantastic hearing that
Mhm.
they gave the program that much time to get going, and it wasn't like, hey,
Absolutely.
you're you're on
Yeah.
the ball for tomorrow, right?
Mhm. Oh yeah, that happens. That happens a lot for programs that are kind of up and coming and everything. So I was thankful that there was a good amount of time, for us to actually recruit and scout and do things that you would normally want more time for. It's just building from the ground up. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So with that being said, you got really a full year before that those kids would be coming in to even
Mhm.
start classes. So how are you approaching building the team in terms of you know incoming fresh because you don't want to have a full team of freshmen, right? You got to try to
Right.
mix it up somehow. So how are you
Mhm.
kind of approaching building this first team?
I mean, honestly, right now, a whole lot of the pool that I'm looking for is a lot of the class of 2027. So it is going to be a good amount of those freshmen that are coming in, just because it honestly is a really talented class. Like these are some players that have been playing for a long time and have been playing together for a long time, that are now just all graduating at the same time. And that's going to be really exciting. I've seen them play for, I mean, a good amount of them play, for years now. So it's really cool kind of seeing their development and seeing um, just how great they've gotten and how they've grown and everything. And so that's where I'm pulling majority from is the 27 class for sure. But definitely a good amount of transfers as well. I know we're going to have, other girls that are looking to transfer, maybe get into a bigger program or the Big South, right, and have something to kind of develop into. And a lot of those girls are just really, really good, and they'll be coming with experience. So the idea is having a mix of the new class, but also a mix of girls that have playing experience at the collegiate level that will kind of help mesh a whole lot of that chemistry and everything.
Now, when you talk about transfers and collegiate experience, right? There's only so many, let's call it, we'll say the varsity programs, right? The ones that the NAIA has been around for a while, right? Or you've
Mhm.
got a lot of junior colleges, but there's also
Sure,
a boatload of, say, the Power Four, the big D1 schools that have club programs and even the smaller
sure,
club programs. So
sure.
are you looking at, some of those players too that maybe they played club somewhere, but now they're going to jump to varsity, or does that
Um,
are you able to even
I mean,
how would
technically,
you even look into that?
you
Yeah.
can recruit anybody, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of these, yeah. There's a lot of club teams that have emerged right now that are starting club and then will eventually go into varsity. Like, there is definitely going to be, tournaments and those like things that you can go and recruit from that are club players. I would say a majority is going to be coming from, you know, players that are already playing in college, but it's an actual full flag football program. Even at the NAIA level, that's where pretty much all of the best players have come from. And a whole lot of them are transferring into, like you said, Power Four schools and everything, right? And a lot of those NAIAs are pretty much what started a whole lot of all of this, right? Like
Yeah.
now these schools are emerging, but a lot of those players are still there. So and that's just based off of like chemistry and but also like having that bond and everything with their team and their coaches, and they're fine, staying there and being a very successful program at that level, right? And so hopefully by the time we start, because a lot of our schools will be those emerging varsity Division I, schools, and hopefully the NCAA championship will be live our first year as well. That's going to be huge. So I feel like that's going to be the perfect time to pull from other universities, whether maybe it's club. If I would not mind club if these players are outstanding and they're great, and recruit them just the same. Really, they should be coming with the same things that I'm looking for in any other school, including NAIA, Division II, Division III. It doesn't really matter. as long as they can play and as long as, they have all of the attributes that I'm looking for. So kind of pulling from everywhere, but yeah.
Well, on that class of 27 front, uh,
Mm.
is it, are you mostly looking for, or when you look at players, I guess when you're watching players, evaluating players, is it mostly at, say, club slash AAU tournaments, or is it at the high school level? Is it both? Like, because I think
Yeah.
a lot of the players, I think you yourself, right, are multi-sport
Mhm.
athletes when it comes to
Sure.
flag football. So how
Yeah.
does that play into it? Where are you finding players?
I mean, honestly, for flag, there's just so many outlets for it at this point. Like a lot of players that have been playing for a long time typically have like a travel club team that they're on that they'll meet like at different tournaments for, whether it's going to be um, the normal USA flag, which is now I flag, tournaments, pretty much all high school, all levels. There's kids, high school athletes, all the adult athletes, like those that are playing on national team will go and play at those tournaments too, including, the bigger worlds tournaments and stuff like that. Those are like the main ones. I'm assuming everybody kind of knows about those, but I feel like for high school class of 2027, they have tons of high school tournaments going on right now as well. There's tons of showcases going on. It's the summertime, so there's a lot of um, you know, combine showcases that these girls can go and like debut themselves at, and college coaches can kind of go and see them up front, doing all of their performance type tests and things like that, but also a lot of scrimmaging and gameplay. So literally on display for you to go and see, like as a coach, and then of course having them have the opportunity to show what they can do as well. Aside from that, it's of course all of the tournaments. So a lot of 7-on-7 tournaments. There's 5-on-5, a whole lot right now for club, for flag. So they kind of play hand in hand. They're of course very different, but also um, you know, from what I think, if you can play fives, you should be fine transferring and playing sevens for sure. So I like to see a little mix of that, but honestly, just traveling everywhere where all of these tournaments and all of these big time showcases are at, so that I can, see wherever the best talent is. Honestly,
Well, and we're starting to see more of these camps, combines,
yeah,
clinics, whatever you want to call them, popping up.
sure.
Are those part of, something you're participating in? Do you think those are important for girls trying to make their jump?
I think they're pretty important, especially for those that um it's mainly also for those that don't play as much and regularly like on a club team. Like let's say they're in an area where there's not a whole lot of that going on. So I usually encourage them to go and like find a place to where they have that going on, like a showcase or something. Like that gives you all of the access to coaches and being able to actually, you know, go through that process, and it makes it easy for me to be able to evaluate, not only their play but like what they can do physically off the bat, right? And that a lot of that can kind of transfer most of the time. So um yeah, I mean, I feel like that's mainly for those that don't have a whole lot going on throughout the summer for games and everything, but a mix. Everybody has their opportunities for those, honestly.
Okay. Well, is there a roster size that you're trying to hit, or that the school says, hey, we want to have this many players, that you think is, ideal for that first year?
I would say that, well, ideally for us anywhere, we're looking for maybe 20 to 25 athletes. I'm not really looking for a ton more than 25. I know that's kind of a number I was given. I know a lot of other schools like jump and do a whole lot more, just for um, injury prevention and things like that, and having more off the bench. But I don't know. I don't really want to have a whole lot off the bench. I want to have like a core group that, you know, plays the most. And of course, having a good amount that can kind of go in and out as needed and do the same job, right? Like these are girls that can kind of um, play anywhere at this point. Flag football, I feel like, is a very versatile sport. So a lot of girls don't always only play one position. Um, and so versatility to me is going to be the biggest thing. And I feel like that's said a lot, but like genuinely, that's what I'm looking for, because I would actually want to use them for all of the different things that they can do, instead of just putting them in one spot. So yeah,
And,
that's
and
that's a
well,
goal.
and with that, you see a lot of times at the high school level, especially, but even at the club level, that a lot of girls playing both ways, doing, kind of all over the place. Should Should you expect that at the collegiate level, or are you people going to be, or do you think it's going to be more of a focus of, I really want to use you for your offense, especially we're going to have somebody else doing on defense. Like, do you see it splitting similar to, a men's tackle football team where you're very much pigeonholed, or do you think there's going to be a lot of movement both sides?
I feel like honestly for flag anyways, in my opinion and what I've seen work really well, even for my play is having the versatility to yes have a main position but also being versatile to where if I tell you I need you to go and play defense or I need you to be plugged in here, or do this or that, I'm confident that you'll be able to attack that position just as well as you would your main position just meaning this is where you're starting, this is what you'll come back to, but I may move you around and use you in different positions. So that's how I kind of look at it anyway.
Okay, well, makes sense. Um, let's talk a little bit about the school. I mean, I know you're not there full time yet in full bore, but something about Charleston Southern must have piqued your interest and made you excited enough to take the job and shift
Mhm.
away from your Texas roots there. So, um, what was it about Charleston Southern? What are some of the things you found and that you really like about the school?
I would say for the most part, the first thing was how welcoming everybody was. Like even those that had no idea who I was, they didn't know that I was going to be, the head coach coming on board or anything like that. Everybody just kind of treated you the same as, welcoming you in, knowing you were new and like asking you, if you needed anything or if you were lost or anything like that. Like they were willing to help you in any way. But also just so like warm and everything. And so I feel like I've had a ton of support really, really quickly and understanding of, how new the sport is, at least, at that school or in that area and everything. And just being able to provide as much support and help as I've needed or didn't need. They've kind of allowed me to take on the program as I see fit and given me freedom in that sense, but also have always been there if I needed anything specifically. So um, it was honestly right off the bat before I even accepted the position. It was just how can I help you? And so that was a big thing for me. I feel like everybody that goes there, everybody that works there, um, is the same in that sense. I mean, aside from that, I love that it is also a Christian based university. That's something that I believe in and love and is a big part of me. But also it's just the fact that being a Christian based university, everybody that will work there is always having that background of you know treating you like with respect and making sure that you're taken care of type of thing. Like that's the whole vibe there and I love it. um but other than that, I mean, the area I would say is completely different. Love it. It's so nice. I'm actually going to have 4 seasons, so that's nice. um it gets hot there, but it is not a humidity insane Texas heat, so that's going to be interesting, and actually being able to be near beaches and the water and everything. That was a big selling point for me too. I thought that was really cool, so I feel like a lot of athletes will enjoy that part definitely as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know this is hard to predict the future, but I'm gonna make you try here. Let's
Okay.
assume we're a year ahead, right? And you're coming in, it's the start of the school year for that 27-28 uh inaugural class and team. Kind of give me just an overview. What should a player expect to be doing in that fall off season? And what do you expect that spring in season, day to day, what can they expect?
I mean, the good thing about all of the assistants that we have there from our academic team, our strength and conditioning staff, all of the athletic training department, everybody goes hand in hand in like helping making sure everything's put together the right way. And it makes it so easy on the student, on the athlete, especially because their schedule is basically built out for them. They know where to be and who to be seeing and who to be in front of and when practice is, when your training is, when your lift is that day. Like all these things are going to be put in order. And I thought that was really, really cool and easy on my end too, to make sure that these athletes have a schedule. They know what to do specifically and we're keeping everything on time. And so what they would expect from the most part. Of course, going to school, they'll typically be having all of their classes in the mornings. We're either going to have an early morning lift or an afternoon lift, depending on the season. So for an off season, they're going to have a couple of those throughout the week, and our strength conditioning coaches and staff build out their programs full on. We basically will meet, and I'll let them know what my practice schedule looks like, and they'll work around that for all of their team lifts as well. Um, Aside from that, there's going to be conditioning days and things like that, to where we're going to have a few of those throughout the day before season as we're prepping. So honestly, it'll be about 3 to 4 days where they're either lifting or they have their conditioning days, and then pretty much 5 days out of the week they're going to have their practices as well. Preparing, especially because it'll be that first semester before the official season starts. And so they need as much time together and as much work together as possible. So the main thing is, yes, they'll get their skill work, they'll get their lift, their training, all of that stuff is important. But I feel like the team chemistry, the team bonding, being able to like do things together as a team, run, offenses, run defenses, like being able to do that together consistently is what will actually help them be able to do that in a game time situation, right? Like them practicing and training individually isn't going to help them on the field playing together. So a lot of that's going to come from their practices, scrimmaging, different things like that. Just honestly building the chemistry and learning how each other moves, because a lot of them may not have played together at that point. So the main thing is being able to build that so that it's not an issue come the first season in 28.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I, and you may not be able to answer this, but I'm going to ask it anyway, just to, you probably have a good idea. And I'm not going to hold you to hard numbers here, but I know that,
Okay.
a lot of kids are thinking, okay, it's a new sport, Division
Mm-hmm.
I, scholarship money.
Mm-hmm.
What? So give me an idea. What's out there? What could somebody who, is looking maybe for athletic scholarship money expect from a new Division I flag football team?
I would say it's different across the board, but if we're talking about Charleston Southern, they definitely have the opportunity to have a full scholarship. So
Wow.
pretty much as they need. If
Wow.
that, I hope that answers you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously there's a lot of, especially girls, right, are
Mhm.
high achievers if they're athletes going to this level, so they maybe have good uh, academic scholarship money potential plus athletic ability, athletic scholarship
Yeah,
potential. So you're saying
I
the
think
ability
honestly,
is there for
it's
stacking and
yeah,
potentially for getting your school
absolutely.
taken care of. All right, good.
Yeah, it's the mix of both, honestly. So anybody wanting to gain as much as they possibly can, especially at the university, like Division I level, is going to be that academic part of things, because it'll only help them.
Yeah.
Like they definitely have the potential to get a lot of academic scholarship money, and then stacking
Yeah.
their athletic money on, and there you go, you got a full ride, honestly.
Awesome. Wow.
Um, so yeah, it's
Good.
possible.
Good stuff. Well, let's talk about the Big South a little bit. They've, announced
Sure.
it's going to be a conference sport. There's a few teams that have announced, but then there's some that maybe they're starting with club and moving it
Yeah.
to varsity. And kind
Mhm.
of what are you hearing? What are you expecting that first year to look like in terms of a conference schedule and a non-conference schedule
Mhm.
and what that might look like?
Honestly, right now, to me, it's still kind of up in the air and nothing has been confirmed, but I know there will be at least a few more of us like ready to go varsity level by the time 27-28 comes. I know currently 26-27, the only school that's actually going to have like a varsity season will be Gardner Webb in our conference. Aside from that, that's it. Everybody else is pretty much either starting club or they haven't announced yet. But a majority of them should be ready to go by the time 27-28 comes. So yeah, I mean that it should be pretty good. I'm assuming most of them, if not all, will be. But I know, for example, like us, USC, Upstate will. High Point, I believe, is doing club, but I'm sure they'll transfer into varsity pretty soon that coming year as well. Um, Winthrop as well. So hopefully a majority of our conference will be by that time. That's the hope.
So do you see also maybe augmenting the schedule with, I mean, the Carolinas have a lot of D2 programs
Sure.
and some D3s in
Yeah.
the area. Do you think that you'll kind of
Oh yeah,
be a
yeah,
blended
absolutely.
schedule? Yeah.
Definitely. So like that's kind of what a good amount of like the other Division I levels are doing this year because a lot of us aren't live this year too. So um like for example, the Cal Poly Nebraska is like all of them, right? They're gonna be your bigger schools as well, but they're also they don't have anybody else in their conference. So what they have to do is, schedule pretty much as many, I'm sure, Division I level schools as they can, and make the trips out, to put them on their schedule and go play other schools that will be competitive. And I'm sure they're still going to, as we will, look at playing like the more competitive NAIA schools because a lot of them are very much great programs. And so going to play basically the best flag football programs, whether they're, any division, doesn't really matter at that point until, of course, our entire conference goes live. That'll be awesome. That's going to be a good time. But regardless, even when it does, I'm sure we'll have other bigger schools like on our schedule and everything as well.
Okay. Well, Coach, I really appreciate your time. I'm going to leave you with one last question, and that is if you had one piece of advice for, you know,
Mm,
any girl, could be junior, senior, transfer, whatever that is going through this college recruiting process, wanting to play flag football in college, what
yeah.
what piece of advice would you have for them?
I would say the main thing is just, trusting your gut on different things. A lot of the best players, um, whether you have a ton of offers or not, like typically just going where you feel comfortable, where you feel is the right fit, no matter what the program is, whether it's a Division I, Division II, NAIA. Like honestly, it's where you're going to develop well, where they're going to take care of you, and where coaches are actually going to pour into you. And knowing that that's going to be the biggest factor of their development and how they do, going into their college playing time. Like I would say to just, like I said, go through the process, take their time, don't rush into anything. Um, and just ask all of the questions, honestly. Like continue asking questions. Like no coach is going to tell you no to a question. Like honestly, most coaches hopefully are going to be, pretty straightforward and everything on different things and give you all of the feedback. So just continue asking for feedback and continue working. Honestly, it's a consistency thing. So just be aware that, if you're trying to get recruited, coaches that are in the area or if they're watching you play, they're looking at everything, right? Like as soon as you walk in through the door, they're looking at how your mannerisms are, how you treat other people, how you treat other players, how you treat your teammates on the field if things go wrong. Like yeah, you're trying to look for the big plays, but I'm also very much watching like how they are and how they behave and how they treat each other. So it's definitely a big character thing for me. And I'm sure it is for a lot of other coaches because that's pretty much what's going to make great players last and actually develop and be consistent. Because there's great players everywhere, but got to be that even fold of good character too. So, um, yeah, that's my advice.
Awesome. Well, Coach, really appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck as you build this inaugural team, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye out for you and seeing how you guys do in that Big South.
Thank you so much. I'm excited. I appreciate it.
Thank you.